What's going on, guys? So, you're gonna have to excuse the fact I look like I'm homeless. Definitely a little greasy. I just got off work, pretty exhausted, but for the first day this week, got off early enough and had enough energy to actually do the video, which is today's video, which is about the DC animated universe, the new one. And, you know, being so exhausted all week, I've been kind of nitpicking, pulling things, getting a screenshot here and there where I could. And if you didn't know, I'm a little late to this because this came out months ago. And I'm one of those things that you would call a casual fan of like anything comic book. And by casual fan, I mean I haven't read every single comic book that there is, okay? I haven't read every Flash, I haven't read every Justice League. I don't know every run. I do know of these runs, like New 52 and stuff like that, some OG stuff, Silver Age, all that stuff I know of. Now, I'm just not super in-depth with it. Same thing with Marvel. Marvel's the only comic book that I collect, and there are very few of them. Civil War 1 and 2 is ones that I'm still collecting today. I do have the Infinity Gauntlet, and then I have the Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. I'm about to get the second one, and then like the Old Man Logan run. That's about it. Those are like peak to me. Everybody knows what they are, obviously, but you know, there's other ones. I'm sure a lot of fans will be like, if you like that, you're like this. I'm not going to tell you don't put that in the comments below. I may look into it and try to go down that rabbit hole. And on top of that, I do read comics without just buying them. Some comic runs, I'll just look it up online and try to read it through there. But to get into kind of the meat of what I want to talk about, it has to do with the animation of DC. Now, like I said, DC king. There's no beating it. DC animated anything has been peak. The Harley Quinn show, the new one, still really good. I liked it. It was fantastic. It's a very different take on the character that just really... I couldn't stop laughing. I loved every episode. I'm a little behind now. I think it's like 2 seasons. But 2 seasons behind, rather. And it's just... I'm ready to sit down and, you know, actually watch it. But I've been binging a lot of DC stuff here and there. And the one thing I was binging last year, before the third part came out, had to be... I think it's TomorrowVerse, Futureverse. You have to forgive me for forgetting right now. But it's going to be the new animated universe. Basically, they've already reset. And that's what the end was. For anybody that doesn't know, and you're probably a year behind like I am. But basically, I sat down and watched it. The third part hadn't come out yet, and I was literally at the tail end of the second part. But what bothered me is the animation style. Now, if you don't know a whole lot about DC, I'm going to go ahead and say, here's a quick clip from like the Justice League Unlimited, and it's a fantastic show.
Crimes. Oh, come on. You know they're dirty.
Then maybe we should put more energy into proving it and less into acting like a bunch of hyperthyroid stormtroopers.
Now that right there smokes anything Marvel did up to that date, period. And even probably today, because Marvel just still hasn't got a grip on their animated stuff. But it's fantastic. It's a great show. All their arcs are really good. I love every single season. Binge the hell out of it. I kind of went backwards. I did like, I think, Unlimited, then JLA, and then did the Justice League Unlimited, then Justice League. And then I was thinking I was doing Superman and then Batman. I kind of just went backwards. But, you know, I was binging it and trying to get, you know, more backstory. I just couldn't stop. And then I ended up going down the new animated road, which was the literal DC animated universe, which was fantastic. If you haven't watched it, I can't recommend it enough. The ending with the Apocalypse War and all that, just so cool and really good. And it kind of shows what, like, it's almost, it's perfect. The beginning shows how the Justice League was founded, basically, with all these pretty well-established characters already. So they kind of had some individual movies, but it just works. Even if you don't watch all of them, just watch the mainline ones for the Justice League. It's perfect. You don't have to watch the extras. They do really good in telling the story where they sit on their own. And then you can just watch all the main ones with Justice League in it. And you don't have to watch the individuals. Not telling you don't watch them. Just please watch them. They're really good. But still... that right there, just it was so perfect. But the new animation threw me off quite a bit because, like I said, we had that anime-esque look, which would be this one right here. That was actually from Apocalypse War. It was awesome. I keep glazing it. I'm sorry. But basically, we had that animation style, which really worked. It adapted a real more anime-esque look. It was just fantastic. The voice acting was perfect. Everything did great. And then now we have this Archer-looking animation, which Archer was great for that animation because it just worked. It was new, or at least new to me. Now, there may have been other animation studios that were running the same style of animation, but it just doesn't work to me. I don't know why. If you don't know what Archer is, this is literally Archer.
The swamp's too dirty. It's full of whatever alligators shit out, which I can only assume is people.
They don't eat people.
They eat people all the time.
That style just doesn't fit for me. It feels cheap. It feels like Anime Studio. If you don't know what that is, I've bought it. It's sitting actually in that big junk desk right there. I bought it because I was going to do animation, and it was a cheap, simple way to do animation. And that's what it feels like, is that it was the cheapest route they could take, which now looks like this, which I don't understand that look. Now, I'm not saying the story's bad. It is rushed. Definitely rushed. But the 3-part series was the multiverse, and it's just a little... I don't know. The first episode was just fucking confusing. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. Now, there's going to be a lot of big brain people going, well, technically, what it is that you're just too stupid to understand is this and that and the other. Okay, sorry. Okay, I don't have time to go through every backstory of every character to understand why the hell Flash was just jumping from parallel worlds at random. I don't even remember them explaining that specifically anywhere. So if I did miss that, forgive me. Definitely let me know what to look at on that one. But the animation still, you can admit, is super, super cheap. That's what I don't like about it. And there's still some cool stuff to take from it. The only sad part is like the ending of it. Now, this is going to be super spoilery. I know pretty much I've been spoiling a lot of everything, but this really bothered me. Was the ending of it is just like wiping out all our favorites. And it felt like The Flash all over again. If you didn't watch The Flash, that abysmal ass movie, it was that. It was just cameos. Here's a universe you know of. Died. One cool one though, the best one was Batman, literally the OG Batman. They legit had Kevin Conroy do a little bit of a goodbye, a better goodbye than what we got with the that Suicide Squad game. But it's where he said, if I die being Batman. You know, just fucking iconically awesome. And then apparently the Joker was played by Mark Hamill in that. And I don't know why. It just feels like Mark Hamill's doing a Mark Hamill impression of the Joker. It was terrible. I don't know. Tell me what you think.
Flattered. The end of the world, and you want to spend it with me.
I didn't know you cared.
I care, Joker. About Gotham. About justice. And if it has to end, at least I go out like this. Being Batman.
Absolutely trumps anything Suicide Squad did. I'm not gonna lie, that was the best going out like a boss you could have. But you see what I'm talking about by the audio? It just sounds a little off, like the Mark Hamill part. Just doesn't sound exactly like him. It just sounds like somebody doing an impression of him. And not like a good one, just as close as they could get. And yeah, it just sounds off to me. I don't know if it's like why. I've seen where it said it was Mark Hamill. I don't think that was Mark Hamill. Call me crazy, but it just doesn't sound right. But like I said, the animation is really my key problem. The storytelling's still a little bit off. Like I said, part 1 just seems a little jumbled. 2, pretty solid. Another problem I have, though, is the final boss, essentially. The big baddie is just cancer, pretty much. It's the world trying to correct itself for the universe, and it all ends up being this one giant Ben 10 alien. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's literally this alien right here is what I'm referring to, the like almighty universe guy. Yeah, that's just what it looks like. It doesn't add up to me. It just makes no sense. It just seems like it's just to move the plot forward and try to speed through and get this series done so we can get to the new universe. Like, I don't know if this is for the James Gunn universe, so let's just do a quick reset to explain why everything's just here. But it just felt off. I'm ready for the next series, and I'm hoping the animation gets better. Okay, this TomorrowVerse, Futureverse, whatever the hell it was called, just was a real big hit and miss most of the time. A lot of the movies weren't all that great. The ones I didn't get to watch, I heard were good. That's the one unfortunate thing. Was some of them are not on the like HBO Max is where I'm watching it, and those were supposed to be the better ones. But like it was really rushed. The Justice League just being rushed through made no sense, and it didn't feel as good as the previous iteration. You know, the one that had a plethora of movies. The Justice League felt really grounded and like organic how they were made. things just worked in that series. I don't know if it was the writers or what. Clearly it had to be the writers. But the animation crew, I don't want to dog on them because I don't know what they, the animation, they did with what was probably given to them. It was just a different style. I'm not saying in itself is like a bad idea. I just don't think it worked. I'll put it that way. I'll give them a little bit of leeway. I just don't think it was great. I think the animation should have went a different route or probably been a little bit consistent with what the older anime style was because it felt like they were going up and this was like a downgrade and it just didn't feel good to me. It just felt cheap, quick, fast, and I know DC is like, they know they're making bank on their animated everything because their animated universe stuff, they don't even have to be the universe, just their animated shows do great. Great writing 99% of the time, which is way better than anything Marvel's been putting out for, a decade now. Because Marvel, to me, ended at the Endgame. Okay, Endgame was great, fantastic. Everything before that, that little section after, like, Disney bought them out, kind of poopy a little bit. But, the ending was great. Pretty much everything Avengers before that was fantastic. It's just when the Disney buyout happened, it just kind of went like a little bit downhill. But I think there's enough complaining about Marvel. It's like its own little thing. There's pretty much enough hate on that. But the DC universe, I don't know how this reboot's going to go. I haven't really got back up to date. Like I said, I'm still trying to backtrack everything and get caught up on my TV series. So at some point, I'm hoping this reboot, whatever way, the animated one, not talking about the live action, the animated stuff, I hope they get their animation just corrected a little bit, do something a little bit different, because this one just felt forced and rushed, and the animation, like I said, I've said it 1,000 times, I apologize, just was poo. It just didn't fit. But yeah, that's about all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.